Hello and welcome to Fair But Fair. My name is Joe Cortez, former international boxing referee. This past weekend, we had Mike Alvarado versus the one and only. I say one and only because he's one of the few Russian fighters that are really up and coming. And you got to remember his name. They're like the Klitschko's. We couldn't even pronounce Klitschko's back then. We know him very well now because the two brothers became very well recognized around the world as two heavyweights who control the heavyweight division. So Klitschko was a name people could pronounce back then. Try to remember Ruslan Provodnikov. Remember that name because he's a new welterweight champion of the world right now, junior welterweight champion. And he proved it Saturday night by taking the belt from Mike Alvarado. Now, you know Mike Alvarado was a great fighter, young fighter. He still has a great career ahead of him. When he fought Brandon Rios, a war baby fighter of the year in 2012. And here we are now with a new champion, Ruslan Provodnikov. Ruslan Provodnikov, as I predicted, was going to stop Mike Alvarado. And he did, by the simple reason that Mike Alvarado, instead of boxing him from the outside, he was doing okay. The first round, Provodnikov came out and was banging the hell out of Mike Alvarado. And then Mike went to plan B right away. He started fighting the southpaws, and that was working for him pretty good. He won the outside. He was doing okay. He won the second round, maybe won the third round, and then it started back and forth. By the sixth round, it was kind of even, maybe even the eighth round, it was kind of close. And before you know it, Mike Alvarado decided to slug it out with Provodnikov, and that's where he made the grave mistake. You don't slug with a slugger. And that's just what he did with Provodnikov. And Provodnikov has a good wicked right hand to the body, good wicked left hand to the head. And Mike's right eye was puffed up, was closing up pretty bad. And he got that into the 10th round. After the 10th round, legendary, I'll say not legendary yet, but will be, Tony Weeks, veteran referee. He's a great referee and did the right thing. In between rounds, he went into that corner and he took control where the cornermen were trying to say he was okay, and Tony put his cornermen aside, went right and got into Mike Alvarado's face and wanted some kind of response. Are you okay to continue? Are you okay? And you know what? Mike Alvarado didn't respond, and Tony Weeks says, that's it, I'm stopping it. No protest from anyone. I think they was saying to himself, the cornerman, and Mike himself, thank you, ref. You did the right call. And you know what? He did, because Mike Alvarado, again, like I said, a young fighter, still has a great career ahead of him. Best thing that Tony Weeks did was stopping the fight, let Mike Alvarado come back another day. So that was that fight Saturday night. And one of the other fights on the undercard was Juan Diaz. Now you remember Juan Diaz, two-time world junior lightweight champion, and did very well. He's from Chicago, Mexican-American from Chicago. He's, they call him the Bull because he's relentless. He puts the pressure on you, and that's what he did Saturday night to his unknown fighter. Had a 14-10 record. And, but Juan Diaz looked good. I remember when he fought Marquez, he got stopped pretty bad here in Las Vegas. But Marquez was really an outstanding fighter, up and coming, peak of his game when he stopped Juan Diaz. So it was a good night for Juan Diaz. Probably that's his about third or fourth fight on the comeback trail. Looks good. That was a good tune-up fight for him. So he got his spark plugs changed, and he got the oil changed, and now he looked like he's ready to probably take on one of the champions at the lightweight division, or maybe junior welterweight division. Let's see, but he looked really sharp. Again, but a fighter with a 14-10 record, I guess I can look good against a fighter with 14-10 record. But he showed some skills. He showed the old moves of the past. So he looked like he was back in track. And I think that's the way you got to bring up a fighter who loses a bad fight. And you don't throw him into another tough fight. You throw him into a couple of easy ones. And that's what concerns me about Saturday in December. You have Manny Pacquiao fighting Brandon Rios. Now, to me, Brandon Rios is one of the most difficult fighters to come up against. If you're talking about fighting a guy in a tune-up fight, Pacquiao should have taken a couple of light ones like Juan Diaz did, and maybe that would have been an easier night for him this coming December in Macau, China, December 20. I'll take it back, it's November 24th. And then this coming Saturday, you have Bernard Hopkins fighting another unknown fighter, Karal Morat. And Karal Morat is a fighter that's up on the ranking, unheard of. But you know what? Sometimes these names were like Morat, you know, just like Provodnikov. We don't know who the guys are, but you know what? You get to know them real soon when they make these great fights against a top-notch fighter and they beat a world champion. Now, nobody has been able to beat Bernard Hopkins since he last fought Calzaghe back in, I believe it was about 4 years ago, and I remember I was a referee in that fight. And Hopkins still looks great. He's 48 years young. I can't say old because he still fights like a young man. So 48 years young, he's still looking sharp. And you know, we have a couple of good fights ahead of us in the next couple of months. And again, Bernard Hopkins this coming Saturday from Atlantic City. Check it out, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. God bless.